Well, hi, folks. This is Craig Sigel, your mental toughness trainer. Today I have with me Michael Langlois, and he is an expert in communications and done a lot of work with athletes. We have a lot of coaches on our list here. And what are some of the things you would tell coaches about communication and how to get the most out of their athletes?
There are some, to me, core sort of principles or values, whatever we want to call it. If you're the coach and you establish what I would call joint expectations, like in other words, you sit down with the player, you sit down where appropriate with the parents as well and say, here's the way I run my program. Whether it's an under 12 program, it's an under 17 program in baseball, in football, in soccer, or it's a high school program, whatever. This is what I do. Describe your philosophy, your approach, and say, this is what I'm expecting of your son or daughter, right? And then the parents get to say, well, okay, that does or doesn't fit with our life values. This is or isn't maybe the right program for us, right? Or it is. That sounds great. Then you set those expectations and both parties know, okay, so are you expecting my son to play a lot or a little? Or, well, no guarantees. Or there is a guarantee. Or whatever the situation is. But then at least, if I'm the coach, what are my discipline expectations? Is my discipline for everybody or only for the lesser lights? The stars get treated differently. You see what I mean? All those little things. But so if you do that, I think you don't avoid, but you minimize the chance of then misunderstanding halfway through the season when the parents are upset saying, well, little Johnny's not playing. Then the coach gets to say, well, remember when we talked back in April or in March, and remember we talked about that it was going to be based on getting a practice or working hard at practice or attitude or respect or how you treat your teammates or whatever. And then what are the parents going to say? Right? If you agree those were core values and this was the way this was going to work, meeting privately with the player, I think, is very important. I think there should be more, and I know it's hard sometimes, but if you've got a 12-man roster or a 20-man roster, depending on the sport, it might be a lot more than that. But I think a coach has to make time to really talk to the young people and put their arm around them and so that when there's the coach that's the mentor and then the coach that sometimes has to be the yeller or the screamer but you explain even things like that. You say, if it's someone, if the player's Craig, you say, Craig, look, I might be yelling and screaming at you today, but just keep in mind, that's not personal. When I'm yelling at you, that's not about you, Craig, that's about you, the athlete, that I'm trying to make better and I'm trying to get something across to you. That's my way of doing it. Okay? So I think if people know that, then they're not going to walk in this way just say, this guy hates me. You need to build the trust. You need to put yourself in their shoes. You got to treat young people the way you would want your own children to be treated by a third party, by a coach. I think there's simple things. I mean, how you say what you say is very important. But I think that the private relationship that you build makes the rest of it work. If you're a coach, you're a teacher. I think at the NFL level, you're still a teacher. You're a leader. You're a motivator. You should be inspiring people to want to give their best performance. I mean, one of the biggest mistakes is coaches are so committed to their program and what they're going to get across and what they need to teach that they don't listen. You're going to learn stuff from your players. Same with parents. You're going to learn from parents too if you listen, right? And I often say to the coaches, one of the things I try to share is say, look, do you know what motivates this particular kid? And you sit down for 5 minutes with a young person and you find out, what motivates you and what do you love about this sport that makes you actually, why you're here. That should make you a better coach and make you help them be a better player.